right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us from all over the world. We're going to get this show on the road here with another Makera live stream. So it's my name is Jason Nerdreich. I'm the education director of Makera here. And we're super excited that we're connecting to you from a number of different areas. And I am, as always, joined by my live stream partner here, Roloff. It's good to see you again. How you been?
Hey, it's been good. It's good to be back after all my travels. But yeah, we're back. We're back at the office. As you can hear, I'm actually cutting something in the background. We'll share a live feed of that also on the live stream. To everybody that doesn't know me, I'm the user experience director for Makera, and I'm also the manager of tech support. So yeah, we have a project that's running right now. We're gonna take a look at that and just have some fun together. We have some giveaways and we got some cool stuff that we're gonna go through.
Yeah, that's awesome, Rolf. It's good. I assume that you're less tired now than you normally are, right? We're
yes,
a different time here. What is it, like 3 or 4 in the afternoon for you then?
Yeah, it's 4 in the afternoon. It's perfect here in South Africa. The weather's nice. You know, usually we cater to the US time zone, and then the hours are a little bit crazy on the side. But yeah, I see a lot of people from Europe commenting, which is great. Thank you guys for being here. This live stream is for you. If this goes well, we will have many more of these, and I actually prefer that. So
yeah, I'm sure. It's it's 10 here on the East Coast, and weather's nice here too. A little chilly, a little bit of like more fall weather today. But as Roloff said, we of course Makera, we're growing, right? So we're expanding. We have customers all over the place. You know, not just in North America, Asia, Australia, South America. Lots of European customers as well. So we want to make sure that we try to accommodate and offer the chance for all of you to attend, where it's not just like 2 in the morning, like the usual aspect for our European folks. So we're super excited to be able to connect with so many different folks today. And whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, thank you all for being here. So we have a lot of things going on. As you saw and as you can hear, hopefully that's not too loud for you guys, we are going to be doing some machining live. This is our back to school live stream, right? A lot of parts of the world are going back to school right about now. So we want to, of course, wish all of our educators out there a happy start to the school year. And we have a couple projects, lessons, giveaways, sales, all that fun stuff, kind of revolving around the back to school theme, making some fun mechanical parts. And we're also going to do a quick recap of what we did over the summer. Last time I saw Roloff, we were on the other side of the world. And of course, we have some fun European events coming up. So lots of things that we're going to talk about. But again, the main goal today is to share some cool back to school stuff. And Roloff, what is we do have some promotions going around right now.
Yeah. That's right. To celebrate the back to school, you know, whole thing, we have some sales that's going on. So it ends on September the 10th, and what we have available is if you buy a Carvera Air, you get an extra fixture set worth $89.99. And if you buy a Carvera, you get a milling bit set worth $119. We also have a live stream coupon code, which is Makera, and that'll last until September the 2nd, where you can get extra $100 off the current discounts only for the Carvera and the Carvera Air. So there's some stuff, if you want to bundle them together, it's always a good time to buy. So keep an eye out on those, and remember that live stream coupon code Makera.
Yep. And again, that is just our back to school promotional sale for any customer, right? So all customers can take advantage of that on our site. But I do also want to remind any educators that are watching, we love to support schools in a lot of different ways worldwide. So we also, of course, offer specific discounts and bundles for educational institutions. We accept, you know, tax exempt institutions and a wide range of purchasing and things like that. So if you are a school specifically looking to get in contact, not only do we have these back to school sales, but we also have special promotions specific for all of our universities, K-12, public schools, etc. So just reach out to us. We'll get you a quote. We'll make sure that we can support you and your students as you try to bring subtractive manufacturing into the classroom, right? So all exciting stuff. And of course, we'll talk a lot more about that later. And we have giveaways. So stay tuned for more. I think let's get back on topic with our stream things, right? So back to school, we're going to be milling some stuff. Let me bring up the little machine cam so we can just see. That's going to be running pretty much the whole screen here. So we can just kind of keep an eye on that. We'll be doing some demos and stuff like that. Exciting stuff here. But, you know, Rolf, I think what's the next aspect? What should we jump into as we're moving along with this stream?
Yeah, I think we can, you know, let me just explain why are we cutting at the background, and we're doing I will actually show you guys the setup of this job that we are currently running. So the reason we're cutting brass, so and this file specifically is around 3 to 4 hours to finish. So there's quite a few details and things on that. So the reason we're cutting it at the background, it's already been set up. We set it up. So it's just cutting to show you guys that it's cutting. But later on in the stream, I'm going to show you guys exactly how this is set up and how easy it is to set this up, even for like materials like brass and hard and metals like that. So yeah, we can definitely want to go into depth on how we set that up, and that's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, so stay tuned. We'll do a cam demo, and we'll also make sure that not only are we going to demo some of that stuff live, we have lots of different tutorial videos, projects, file sharing. So we'll go over all that. We have plenty of time today to share quite a bit of stuff with you guys here. With that said, though, I think let's kick off our first giveaway. We're going to do like 3 rounds of giveaways, but I think let's find some lucky winners right at the start of the stream here.
Let's hit the ground running.
Yeah, so while Roloff gets this loaded, here's a couple rules, ground rules for folks that maybe haven't joined us in the past. Any user that's viewing this live stream via YouTube or Facebook can participate in the giveaway. We are also live on Instagram, but unfortunately, Instagram comments do not process in our giveaway software. So if you are on YouTube or Facebook, you can participate. Basically, what we'll do is we'll throw a keyword on the screen in just a moment. You type that keyword exactly like it's spelled, capitalization, no capitalization, etc. And then we randomly pick a bunch of you to win some stuff. So, Roloff, what are we giving away this time? What's our first giveaway?
All right, our first giveaway is, so I'll tell you the code word now, but it's $100 off coupon for any products over $500. Awesome. So we're going to select a few winners. You've reminded them about the comments, and when you've ran through everything what you do, we'll remind you on every draw. So I'm going to share my page is shared here. I'm going to type in here #100 and let's go.
All right, get those keyboards ready there, folks. Go ahead and enter #100. This is an easy one. You don't have to worry about spelling. You don't have to worry about capitalization, et cetera, right? So #100. And
here we go.
Giveaway will be that coupon code. So $100 off any order, any product order over $500, which is super cool, especially if you are taking advantage of some of the other things you have going on as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
While we wait, Jason, just tell me if the machines, how the machine sound is. The lid's currently open, so
yeah, it's a little loud. I think it's even louder when your air compressor kicks on. It is impressive.
Oh yeah,
you're in a pretty small room and you're milling brass and your air compressor is on. I think it's really like when you're not chatting, your mic, like right then, when I'm talking, your mic doesn't do super noise cancellation. When you talk, it's crystal crisp. But I see. We could probably close the lid until we dive back if you want to close that.
I think that's show. I think you can still see what's happening in there.
Yeah.
And it sounds a little bit better.
That definitely helps a little bit. But it's kind of awesome that you're next to a CNC that's milling solid metal and it's not loud. So pretty cool. And now is also a good time for folks to subscribe or follow us, right? In order to win this prize, not only do we have to pull you out of the comments here, you do have to be a subscriber or follower, depending on what platform you're viewing us on. So make sure if you haven't already, press that button, which I think is there somewhere below my face. Let's see. Let's do a draw here.
Let's do it. We've got 84 entries. Let's go. First one.
Who's going to be our first winner of the day? All right. Colton mixed up. Congratulations, Colton. You are the first winner of the day. Not the only, just the first. And I think
congrats.
A couple more draws for this one specifically, right?
Yeah, let's go. Entries 85. Let's go again.
Here we go, folks. I see a lot of people are trying to enter more than once. You can only enter one time.
But I like the enthusiasm, though.
Yeah.
Moonlight Dave.
K. Specifically, not Moonlight Dave. Moonlight Dave K. You are the winner. Congratulations. Winner number 2.
And let's run it back.
Your mill is way quieter now, FYI. So the closing the lid made a huge difference.
Yeah. Shazade, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
We apologize
Yeah, congrats.
if we put your names on live camera here. We're very sorry about that. But congratulations. Winner number 3. I think let's do 2 more. 2 more
Let's
for
go.
the $100 coupon. Winner number 4.
Vincenzo.
Vasi? Boshi? Boki?
We struggle with this every time.
I think everyone enjoys it though. I think they
okay. Yeah. And one more. Let's go.
All right. I think
Ian.
that's Ian or Lane.
Ian?
It might be. Is it an L? It might be an L. Lane.
I don't know.
I don't know. Is we don't need to know how to say your name for you to win.
Yeah.
That's great. So congratulations. I think that's 5 winners right now. Awesome job, folks. That is just the first giveaway. We'll be doing more.
So you guys can just email us a screenshot of your YouTube profile, just so we can confirm that it's actually you. And you email that to info@makera.com, and then we will handle all the prizes from there.
Yep. And specific for coupon giveaways, your coupon that you just won will be valid for 2 weeks. But I think that's like September 12th from today. So that's only for coupon giveaways. We'll also give away some stuff where it's like a thing that we ship to you. But for that one, any coupon giveaways are valid for 2 weeks after winning. All right. So let's go back to the summer. So listen, last time I saw you roll up, we were actually in China at Makera HQ, which was super fun, right? And we were coming off of Open Source, and we did a lot of cool stuff, man. How was your? You said your travel was good back home, but that was an awesome summer experience we had.
Yeah, it was quite a big trip for me. I went kind of all around the world. I first went to New York. We did some other machine fixes and things there, and then we went to Open Source, which was the highlight of the trip. And then all around to China for another few weeks, where we did some filming and we saw some new stuff, and it was just great to be at the factory, see the whole team, and see the passion that the whole company has for just still making these machines and still using the machines to make some cool stuff.
Yeah, that was
cool. After that trip, when I came back, like I was so inspired to just make things. My samples is like right here, and it's like a heap of samples. I'm just making of new methods people are using to the machine with, and it's so great to see
for sure
what people's doing and where we're going.
I think the biggest motivation, like when you've been doing CNC machining or 3D printing or woodworking or making or whatever, is to go talk to like a product designer, an engineer who does this stuff every day in their sleep, and you're like, oh, okay, I can push myself a little bit more. I didn't know we could do that, right? You can always that was fun. And of course, some exciting things, right? So we launched our Cyclone dust collector, right? So that's available for pre-sale right now. Well, I think the pre-sale ends soon, and that'll go for full shipment towards the end of the month here, right? So that's super exciting. It was a really cool accessory, one that we also showed at Open Source. So it's more than just like your typical vacuum system. It is a full Cyclone system that actually separate your large chips from your filters and things like that. So you never have to worry about getting like a small piece of metal in your motor housing. That's impossible to happen. So you always get really high powerful suction. It's not just for wood and plastic, it's great for metal. And you can even use it as an air purification system for lightweight laser engraving if you put the right type of filters in. So that was super cool to see. That was, of course, the theme of our last live stream. So you can always go back and check out these live streams that are recorded. And again, stay tuned for more information on that as that Cyclone dust collector goes full production, full retail, and starts to ship. So that's something that I know we chatted about. And also Open Source, right? Open Source. What was your favorite part? Looking back on Open Source, which I think was just such a cool event for us. My first time going out there. I know yours as well. What was your favorite part?
Oh man, there's so many things. I think just to have the type of people that was at the show, they're all us type of people, maker kind of people, little bit tech nerds, like we love making things, and we love everybody has this passion. This video showcases it perfectly. All the interviews that we had, some big names, some smaller names, and it was just so great. It was just so great.
For sure. Meeting so many customers, which is super cool, and all these different YouTubers and reviewers, and some with millions of subscribers, tens of thousands of subscribers, people that are, inspiring the next generation of makers using our machines. But also, like, I think my favorite part was seeing how different things could be combined, right? Somebody showing like, oh, I milled this, I 3D printed this, I laser cut this, then I did this by hand with some hand woodworking, and it all comes together in such a cool culminating project, whether that's a robot or a cabinet or something like that. Talking about inspiring, I know I left open source and was like, all right, I haven't made anything really cool in a while. I got to step things up there a little bit. It was super cool for sure.
Yeah, it was great. And the big names that we saw was incredible. I think one of the best samples I also saw was the hacksmiths, the hack's blade. Sure. I think I probably need to get a dust or a sandblaster now after seeing that sample. He did such a good job of masking off the sample inside of his material, so it had this combination of tooling marks on some finishes and then the sandblasted on other finishes, which just takes the product to a next level if you're talking about prototyping and making things. And that was probably one of the highlights. And to have an interview with him was just incredible.
Yeah, that was I agree. That was awesome. That was like a jaw drop moment for me.
Yeah, and he loves our machine. Like it's so cool to see. He loves using it. He's using it like at a really good standard, and very professional. The stuff that he's making, and it's just so epic to see.
Yeah, that's somebody who has, pretty much any machine at his disposal, right? He's got some huge CNCs, but he loves like the simplicity of it. And he shared that in that interview, which is on our YouTube, along with a bunch of other interviews that we did. And we have a lot more. We honestly got so much cool content that we're still publishing some stuff. So there's more to come on our events playlist there. But what we're referencing is also the Smith blade, which I think is still on Kickstarter. It's ending soon if it hasn't already. So definitely check out that Smith blade. It was pretty cool. He did the whole prototype with the Carvera, and then the full production spec is out of titanium with a big industrial CNC machine. So that's a pretty cool project that we definitely backed ourselves because we're like, this is awesome. I always need a new multi-tool. So yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. So let's see, what are we talking about? Well, we're doing some milling. You can hear some milling. It sounds like it's doing some deeper passes right now. So before we get into what this project is, and we're going to do a demo, I do want to show you guys what the updates are and what we're doing here as we go, right? So I mentioned this is a back-to-school special, and whenever we do some more extensive lessons that we think might also be applicable for a really wide range of users, we want to provide different instructional resources, tools, guides, et cetera, so that way you can all engage with this content. So let me share my screen here real quick, just to show you what I'm talking about. Let's see, here we go. So this is our wiki site. I know obviously a lot of you found our YouTube channel, which is great, because that's how you're connecting with us now. But our wiki is always a work in progress, something that we're trying to do, that we're trying to increase and work with here. So if you head over to our knowledge sharing page, you can find pretty much any of our official project tutorials that we've created, our different backing guides and things like that, right? So any of our videos where we also mention samples, files, et cetera, you can grab that. So you can find, and they go back pretty far here, all of the sample files, MKC files, steps, things like that. All the stuff that you guys can find are on our site as you go. And I keep mentioning lesson plans. So for our educators specifically looking to bring their projects into the classroom, you can find a specific video with me made for students where we go over like challenge briefs, right? Like a problem statement that we want our students to think about, as well as a multi-page lesson plan for educators. That's not just sharing the sample files, but we want to offer educators a pacing guide, essential questions, learning objectives. We also try to align them to standard aligned instructions with international organizations like ISTE or ITEA. So that way you can foster different machining applications in the classroom as students are brainstorming and fabricating their own prototype solutions as they go. So this is completely free, and this is not just for our customers. This is really for anybody who's looking to bring CNC machining into the classroom. You can find this stuff, and also some different handouts and things like that to sort of foster brainstorming, sketching, design, etc. as students are trying to do this. So this is all on the wiki site. And what we're showing you today, this cool Trammel of Archimedes project, we have a full extensive start to finish tutorial video on how to do that, as well as all the files that you're going to see are here on the wiki too. And again, that's all published. And we're always looking to improve. So we're always open to feedback on, what types of projects you want to see, what types of files we can share for you. And we have a lot of things in the pipeline on ways that we can improve file sharing and also invite our users to do some of the same. So this is what we have now, but of course, stay tuned because there's so much that we're looking to do and coming your way. So with that, Roelof, I think it's time. First off, it's quiet. It's quiet, which is cool. I think some of our users, our machine got a little loud there. Sorry, folks. Trying to machine live on camera is always a fun thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I paused it and I switched off the compressor. So I think because there was some glitches, so maybe the sound is a little bit better now.
Yeah. You sound nice and smooth to me here. So I think with that, we now know where folks can find these samples and stuff. Let's actually show them how to make some stuff. Do you want to maybe get into some cam demos here?
Yes, definitely. I am going to share my screen first. There we go. Everybody can see this. Now, what I'm currently cutting behind me here is this exact file. And I'm going to go from the start. I'm actually going to start and take it a little bit step back from the cam and just open this up in the CAD because I just want to show you why I'm using what tools. I think there's still quite a few questions that people has about what tool to use. And I think with this example, you can just use one tool. The single flute end mill for metal on this tool, you can use on this job. It's just one tool. You don't have to go in any specialized tools. And in many cases, you don't have to overcomplicate anything by using many tools. Obviously, you can get a lot of more finishes with chamfer tools and other things like that. So first of all, I think let's look at the CAD model. Now, I'm just got it open here in Rhino. Now, I just made the layout like this. So the first thing that I did to set this up is to make sure that the nesting, which is the top view of this thing, has enough space next to it so it can actually have a tab. If you place this part right next to the model, your tool, which is the normal tool I was just talking about, 3.175, that tool will interfere if it's doing an outside cut on the main model, which is this one. It'll do an outside cut on this one, but it's going to actually cut into that part. So you always need to make sure that the gaps between the parts that you set up has enough clearance for the tool. And then also, if you have brass parts like this, you have to make sure that there's enough material between the two parts. So there's going to be an outside cut on this part. You see, that's also not going to work because it's too small. So you always need to check your spacing. That's the first thing you need to check if you're doing nesting. I can also check that my tool can cut this inner hole. My tool can also cut all the parts here. There's nothing this tool cannot go. So this whole job you can just do with one tool, which is so simple and so easy. Here I just draw a little circle as well, which shows you. I think when we get there, I'll show you that. So let's open up this file. I'm just going to go File, New, 3-axis, and I'm going to go import this model. And here you can see that it's imported the model right in the middle of the stock, which I already set up. So if this was changed, you would just need to modify this according to the material that you have. And then the height of my material is 8.2, the height of my brass. But if you look at it from the front, you can see there's a little gap at the top and a little gap at the bottom because my model is 8 mil and the stock is 8.2 mil. So I'm first going to click on this. I'm just going to hit the shortcut M on my keyboard. And I'm just going to select the bottom of the part and I'm going to set that to minus 8.2. Select. And now it's drawn the part right to the bottom of the stock. And so there's a 2 mil gap at the top here, and then there's nothing at the bottom. And if this position was somewhere else, if it imported something like this, you just hit this quick align stock. But that brings it to the center of the stock. And you know that you have enough clearance here for the tool. and it can have clearances. So most of my setups, everybody does this a little bit differently, but most of my setups is mostly done on the CAD side of things. Everything is set up correctly here, so I have to do minimal work in here. You can still move them manually and move them around. That's just my method. There's a lot of different methods, but this just makes it a little bit easier in the CAD if in the CAM if the CAD is set up correctly.
Well, can I actually ask you about something? This is a question that we often get. I know that you really like to use Rhino. I typically find myself using either Onshape or Adobe Illustrator, depending what I'm doing. You know, what, real quick, like folks ask us all the time, like, what do they need to know about CAD, or like, why would you choose one CAD over the other? You know, do you have any like quick notes about like all these users? I know we're not a CAD company, but if a user's saying like, I'm going to go put the time into learning CAD, what's your suggestion for them on which CAD they should go start with?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And I think if you are someone that uses CAD often, you know, it's personal preference. Rhino for me is the way that I did technical drawings in school is a lot more reference to how you draw in Rhino. There's a top view, there's a bottom view, or a front view, and a side view, and an isometric. So I don't like that in my technical background. It makes a lot more sense. Agreed. If you're using something like Fusion, it's also easy to use, and it just uses a different method of extruding and changing. I think you're probably just going to have to, if you have to choose a program, you're going to have to just weigh up the weights of the one and the other one. I use Rhino because it's so simple. For me. Other cams like SolidWorks and things like that, they use a different design approach, drawing approach. So it depends from person to person. You know, I'm a sucker for Rhino. It's not not a paid ad, but
I get it. Thanks for sharing that. And again, I know that my personal preference is probably Onshape still, but I see some folks are saying SolidWorks, Fusion, right? And this is why I wanted to bring this up, everybody, because we get questions all the time about what CAD do I have to use for success. And as you can see from the chat in our conversation, the CAD is not going to necessarily change your success with milling. You just, as Roloff said, you have to find the one that works best for your design style, what works best for your approach, and also that fits in your budget, because there's lots of great free programs out there, and there's obviously ones that are not free and super expensive. So thanks for that. Sorry to interrupt, but a good question.
That's good.
There, and I wanted to highlight.
And I'm seeing the chat here. Everybody's going on about their personal CAD that they love. You know, and so it's a preference thing. And also the people that doesn't know CAD, you don't need the CAD. It only helps in that little process if you're actually designing your own parts. But so this is a file that I just downloaded. You know, you can just download this file, and then you just have to make sure that there's no undercuts. If there's undercuts on this model, you're gonna have to set up the cam differently and do a flip and you know, to mold the bottom side, things like that. So it all depends. There's so many different use cases and things for this. So but let me show you how basic this is, because we have to focus on the cam. I think we got a little sidetracked on the cam there. Sorry about that. I got excited. So super simple. Like I explained, I can do this whole thing with one tool. And most of these things are just done in pockets. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up here. I'm going to select a 3D pocket. Now, the first thing is to take off that 0.2 millimeter at the top of the material. Now, I just need to take it to this face, hold shift, this face, this face, this face. Over here, we're going to start depth is at 0, because you can see here the origin. This is the origin mark. This is at 0, which is on the top of the material. And because it's at 0, your Z0 probes on top of the material. So it'll set your Z to 0 on top of that. So it's actually cutting into the negative. So I've got the correct tool selected here. No, this is not the correct tool. I'll add single flute metal, the 12 mil for brass, choose. And I don't have to change anything here because this has already been set up by our cam. So you don't have to worry, you don't have to adjust it. If you want to go faster than the recommended settings, then you can up the speeds a little bit. But you can stick to this, and this will give you a good finish with that tool. And then over here, you can select the strategy that you're doing. Now I'm just going to calculate this just to show you the difference.
in brass, there's actually the timing might be affected very slightly. It probably makes more sense to do the offset because it will actually take that shape. If you want the machining, the tooling surface marks on the top, if you want it to look that way, you can select the offset. And if you want to do parallel, which I actually think might look a little bit better, then the tooling marks on the part will actually be side to side. It all depends on what you want. So they both do the same thing. And as you can see here, I think it's just 2 passes. So it's like the step down is 0.1 millimeters. So it's 1 pass. And then there's a second line, which is the 0.2 millimeter pass. So it's just 2 passes. You can obviously do a parallel, cut it at an angle. If we say 45 degrees, calculate it, then that's also a nice finish. It all depends. What do you think, Jason? What do you like?
Yeah, I like that. I'm glad you brought that up there because I think it's pretty cool that it'll automatically figure out and surface just this area depending on how big your bit is. And then, your tooling there, as you said, you get to kind of figure out what type of finish style. I like the 45 degree parallel as well. I think that's my preference. But brass is also one of my favorite materials to take a little bit of like high grit sandpaper and do some finishing at the end to give you like a nice brushed appearance too.
Yeah, definitely. Sandblasting, that's
or sandblasting, right? We need that sandblaster. Now that Hacksmith has showed us.
Yeah. So that's been calculated. I can also add ramping if I need to. That's just to take a little bit less load off the tool when it plunges to the second. So I will calculate that, and that has been included into the pass, and that is our first tool path that we just created. The second, I forgot to select these faces as well. I just recalculate, and as easy as that. That's the top face. You can also do the next part. I will select this face, and then I'm gonna go to 3D pocket again. Same thing, and then it should have the same tool selected. Start depth is at. I can change this to 0.2 because it's already cut that top 0.2 mil off. And then the settings has already been set up. I'll do the same 45 degree. For this one, probably I'll do the offset. And I'll do this outside boundary. Now, that outside boundary is also something that I wanted to talk about quickly. The outside boundary, it'll still look at the inner surface of, if I show this as a top view, let me hide this other one. So it'll still take this as the edge of the cutting as the tool. The white line is the center of the tool. So what it does, if I say inside boundary and I calculate this, it's going to cut only to that. So it's going to cut to that edge, but because the tool has a radius, I'm going to just open this up in cam quickly just to show you what I mean. You're cutting inside the boundary. So what's happening is you're going to be cutting only till there. So because I'm saying outside boundary, it'll actually cut past this. Because if I only cut to there, there's going to be this weird edge at the corner here. So if you do outside boundary, it'll cut all the way past that edge and give you a clean, nice edge on this corner. So that's the reason we would select outside boundary for that. And once again, I forgot to add to select this surfaces. I'll just select that one, select that one, I'll select that one and that one. And I'm also cutting this as a pocket because this hole is 4 millimeters and my tool is 3.175. I can just calculate and that will do the pocket for me. So that's our second tool path. As easy as that. That's the second part. Let me hide that. And the third thing that we do is a contour. 3D contour, and I will go select the face and I'll generate the contour of this face, this face, this face, this face, this face. I'm just doing the bottom face because it's one thing. Here you have to select all the faces, and I will start depth is at 0, the end depth offset, just to make sure it cuts through the material. Now the material is 8.2, so I'm going to call this end depth offset 0.1 millimeter. So that's going to cut at a depth of 8.3 millimeters. The safe positions you don't have to modify. The tool has already been chosen here. It's easy if that all these parameters has already been set up. That's tool 4, tool 4. This is also tool 4. and I will be cutting outside. If I'll be cutting, because it's looking at only the contours, so I can cut it on the inside, but then you're going to cut away half your part.
Did you generate your contours?
Well, I never generated. Thank you.
Yep.
Generate. There we go.
So the contours, folks, is actually like a 2D path that's automatically generated by Makera CAM. You could, in theory, import a 2D profile, like a DXF or an SVG or something as well. But what Roloff did there was he just generated that 2D profile automatically based on that 3D step file in order for this contour to be created.
Yeah. And we have to be cutting on the outside of this line.
Right.
So I'm going to select outside. You can also do on or inside, but for this we obviously do an outside cut, so we just select outside for that. You can also offset that if you need to, and we will also add tabs to this. I'm just going to make this 5, tab thickness 1. So, and then I will add one. Let me just change this to top view. 1, 2, 3, 4, tab.
It's a lot of tabs.
Yeah, a lot of tabs. Yeah. When it comes to metal, you have to be very careful with tabs. You know, and there's a fine line to get the perfect tab. I would actually make this tab 0.5 because I've cut this before, and the 1 mil, you know, it took quite a lot of effort to actually cut off that 1 mil tabs.
Sure.
They were a little bit thick. So there's a fine line with tabs that you just have to get where you're comfortable with. But 1 mil in wood, obviously, you have to go higher. You probably have to go like 3 mil because wood can get really fragile if it's really thin. But in brass, you have to make sure the part is solidly kept in place. Otherwise, things can go flying.
Right.
So just be very careful and just keep that in mind. I'll also add ramping to this, but I don't have to change any of the settings. That's already been set up. And then looking at it like this, I'll calculate. And there you can see it's been created. Yeah. It's left out the tab there. It's left out the tabs where I selected them.
Cool. Before you start the next step, I want to answer 2 questions that came up in the chat, if I can.
Yeah, you go.
So somebody just asked the difference, like, what is the contour? So the contour is it's an outline path, right? So a contour cut means that it will just essentially follow some type of vector outline, like what Roloff generated, and it would just be a single bit width outline, or you could call it even a silhouette toolpath, where a pocket would actually essentially fill that outline in. So you can use it to machine the inner parts. So that's the difference between the pocket path and the contour path. There's also a bunch of paths that we're not talking about right now, like drilling operations, chamfering operations, etc. This is not super relevant for this project specifically, but we do have tons of tutorials on the differences between those. And somebody also asked, can you use double-sided tape instead of tabs? The answer is yes. It depends on the material. It depends on your application. I personally, in the tutorial that you'll see on our YouTube channel, use double-sided tape to machine my trammel here. Whenever you use double-sided tape for metal, you have to be super careful about how good your bottom adhesion is. So I usually clear off this metal really nicely. And I want to make sure that I have really good adhesion on like my wasteboard or my spoil board or my CNC. So using something that's very porous, like MDF, might not be as good as, say, using something like acrylic, which is really slick and will give you good adhesion. So there's really not one perfect method for tool holding, tool fixturing. Some folks are saying, what about a vacuum table? You know, there are so many different ways. Different materials, different types of cuts will certainly make you try to find the best approach to your workplace holding, and definitely check out our tutorials and chat with other CNC users for their tips and strategies on like our Discord and things on that.
Yep. Yeah, double-sided tape is very useful, but you have to use it correctly. If you have a piece of metal that's slightly bent or it has like some defects or things like that, then the double-sided tape is just not going to work. And it also depends on how big the material is. I wouldn't suggest at all, you know, cutting a 50 mil piece of metal without tabs or with double-sided tape. So it all makes it all depends about your specific project. And you need to be careful when cutting metal because, you know, things can go flying. That's why we always say stay safe, keep the lid on.
if chip extraction can also affect affect the part coming loose, because so you have to also use the air assist, to things needs to be in place to use double-sided tape. Let me just say that.
Yep, for sure, folks. And we're glossing over that now because that's not necessarily the topic of the stream, but we have way more tutorials and guides to dive deeper in all this stuff. So definitely, if you haven't already, check out that wiki I showed you earlier on our YouTube channel for more.
Yep. Okay, and so let me just finish this off. So here we've got this new feature, which is the preview toolpath. Pretty cool stuff. So you can look at your part and where it sits, and then you can actually play. And I'll display the tool, and it'll show you exactly what the machine's gonna do.
Yep. Cool. Very
cool new feature. Check that out. That's on the latest cam. I'll exit the preview. Now, to get this on a machine, it is as simple as this. I'm going to export the toolpath. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to call same tool.
I think you
same tool. Yeah. I'm just going to call this test. I'm not going to actually upload it now. Okay, there is already a test. Let me just call this test stream. Save. I open up the controller. I just pause the machine just due to the sound. And you'll open this file here. You go to upload, and then you find the test stream here, and you upload and select that right here, and that'll pop on the screen, and then you can go through all the run config settings, that you guys seen before. And there's a bunch of tutorials of that online. So I'm not going to go through the whole process. I don't think we have enough time for that. But
no. But we will show some folks some machining and stuff like that again. And that was awesome. I think that was a really good CAM overview there, folks. Again, we've mentioned this project, and a lot of folks were asking us CAD versus CAM, right? So the recap is CAD, like Rhino, Fusion, Onshape, FreeCAD, all the cool stuff that people shared is where you could actually design your model, though you can find models and stuff like that online as well. You import those into CAM, and that is where you can actually prepare your designs for manufacturing. That's what CAM stands for, computer-aided manufacturing. And while we just showed you Makera CAM, our CNCs are, of course, compatible with pretty much any CAM you want to use, whether that's Fusion, SolidWorks, Kirimoto, Mastercam, VCarve. There's so many. But we, of course, want Makera CAM to be a more simple approach where you can just create, 3 tool paths, let the software figure out your feeds, your speeds, all that for you, and then you machine your part out of solid metal, right? So hopefully that was pretty clear and cleared up some confusion there. Thank you for the demo there, Rolf. That was great.
Yeah. I'm tired of demos. Let's give away some stuff.
Let's give away some stuff. So for this giveaway, we're actually going to be giving away our tank kit here, which is super cool. Let me, if I can, real fast before we do the keyword, just show what I'm talking about. At Open Sauce, we had these remote control tanks. We're going to bring them to our next conference, IFA, as well. And we're giving away the custom tank toolkit. We have been busy designing a V2. So we also gave away some tanks in the past, but we were waiting for the newer version to be created. So we're giving away some more custom tank toolkits that were designed completely by our CNCs, the PCB, the metal parts, as well as some 3D printed parts too. So we're going to be giving away a couple of those to some lucky winners here.
Yeah. And it's such I think you've got to mention that we actually have a game for these tanks. So you can purchase them at a later stage, and then you can actually battle your friends. And there's a camera mounted in the tank. It's got a sensor, so you can like shoot to another person. It has like 5 lights, which is like lives. So it's a whole game on its own.
Remote control laser tag. Anyone who's familiar with it, it's like an ESP232 controller. So pretty cool stuff that we've programmed there and designed everything for. So the keyword is, what do we got? Hashtag tank?
Hashtag tank. Let's go.
Right, folks, there we go. Get those keyboards ready. Hashtag tank. Giveaway number 2. I think we will do... Let's see how many entries we get here. We're definitely going to give away more than one. Let's see what we got here, folks. Looks like they're coming in. Remember, capital T. Capitals matter here, folks. I think you minimized the, there we go. I like somebody said hashtag tank V2. That is not the keyword, but it will be the updated version. Hashtag tank, again, capital T as you go. And as another reminder, only folks watching on YouTube or Facebook can participate in our giveaways. Our Instagram viewers, sit back, relax, and watch. But unfortunately, Instagram comments are not compatible.
Are we looking? 148. Do we have some more?
I think we're there.
Let's go.
All right. Who's going to be our, what is this, the 6th winner of the stream? I'll let you say that one.
Sveinung. Svea. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Super sorry for butchering your name there. But you are our first tank winner. Well done. Congrats. Let's give away a couple more.
Vanzi
Hoon. Fancy Hoon, congratulations. You just won an M Tank Toolkit. And let's give away one more.
Let's go.
TBK.
TBK. That's
Thank
an
you
easy
for
one.
the easy name. Yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. Super simple. And you're our 3rd M-Tank winner. So congratulations to those 3 winners. And of course, the 5 that we chose earlier as well. Yeah, and as a reminder, just screenshot your account info, email that to info@makera.com. For our coupon winners, we'll send you that coupon that you won earlier. For the tank winners, we'll figure out where you are in the world and figure out how we can actually send you your own custom tank toolkit.
All right. I've got a little sample here.
Let's do it.
I'll just show. Let me see if I can get this cam going. Just a second.
Sure.
This is now another cam.
So fancy. So are we switching to your other CNC?
No, this is just a hand cam.
Ah,
So I can show you guys the Trammel and how it works. How's that?
cool. Super cool. Yeah. So
That's
the part.
okay?
And
So
folks,
here-
while Rob gets that camera up here, you may have noticed that on our wiki, we have 2 different Trammel files that we've shared. So we have a simpler one, which Roloff is showing you here in this large cam, and we have a slightly more complex one. Both files are online. We have kind of guides and everything like that for both.
Yeah. So what I did here was I didn't use the smaller rectangle parts at the top. I used the pins that comes in the toolbox, and then I used the 4 millimeter collars, and I used the tool, the collar application tool, and I fitted that to there. So these guys are locked in place there, and that one is locked in place there, and all that you do is you place it like that. Oh, I also cut this little carbon fiber piece.
What is the inlay? Is that painted? Did you paint that inlay?
Yeah, I engraved the M, and then I just took some paint, and then I took like a small little card, and I just
That's awesome.
took off the axis, and then you just put it into position like this.
Right.
And then let me just place this nicely so you can see it. And then I have a pen here. There's a little bit of double-sided tape. Seems to be the theme of this live stream. And then the perfect ellipse.
Super cool. Love that. Love that, folks. So this is the simpler design that utilizes a combination of 3D and 2D files. I really love that you use different materials too, right? Not just the brass, but also the carbon fiber. Our machines cut carbon fiber like butter, which is super cool. And also those bit collars is a pretty slick way. So no screws or fasteners or glue. You impress me.
Yeah, that's it.
I like it.
Keep it simple.
Yeah. For those folks who do want to go beyond the simple, there is this. Let me see if I can get this on camera here. I took the pen out so I don't accidentally draw on myself. But this is the more complex one where you also need to cut a rod, and you have these different sliders here. This is actually not all brass. I want to show for educators that, like, if you want to incorporate some 3D printing, or even this is actually machined like Delrin plastic, that's fine too. so you can combine different materials as well as making it a solid metal. So just showing that, again, there's never one way to do any project as you design and fabricate these super cool stuff.
Yep. The cool thing about that one is adjustable. My one is a
it's fixed. Sorry. It is fixed. I did notice that, but yeah, that's cool. But hey, listen, maybe some folks will download our files and then machine like their own custom adjustable thing. And if you do, especially for my educators, they're going to bring this into the classroom. Share what your students make with us. Share what you create with us. We love to see how you adapt and modify and use your CNCs to do awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. So, listen, we have a little bit of time left. We do have one more giveaway. So, folks, stay tuned. We're not going to do it right now. We're going to make you stay with us to the end. So we have one more giveaway that we'll do. But I think when we keep hinting at this, we have another event coming up, right? I'm super excited.
Yeah. How excited is that? And it is not in the US. This time we are going to Germany.
Yeah.
And it's not far from now. And we are visiting the IFA in Berlin next week, which is super exciting. We have the similar team that we had also in the US. Everybody's coming together. The team from China, the team from South Africa, the team from the US. So we got a bunch of people coming together, and it's just going to be awesome. And we are trying to push a little bit into the European market. And that's why we taking care of you guys. We want to have the live streams a little bit aimed towards you guys. And also go on this expo to show our machines to all the people there.
It's exciting. I know that we have a new distribution center in Europe because we're doing a lot more sales and supports and things there. So that's exciting. And IFA, I've never been. I do have this nice little preview. There we go. This is kind of a combination of what we did at Open Sauce and what IFA is, right? So I've never been, but I've heard it's huge. I've heard it's huge and awesome and kind of like a European version of CES and lots of cool electronics and tech and fabrication and making and people from all over the world. So we have a lot of cool stuff that we'll have on display, like our Open Sauce booth, where we're going to have projects, machines, milling stuff, some new stuff that we're super excited to share, this cool tank battle and some fun giveaways and everything like that. So, we will definitely make sure that we share, social media posts throughout the week. It is next week, like Roloff said, right? It's on starting on, was it Friday Friday the 5th, right? Through the 9th. So it's quite a big event there that we'll have a lot of cool social media posts for different events and activities throughout the week. And it should be awesome.
And I think we should also mention, if there's some people in Berlin that's interested of coming to our booth and maybe has some of our machines, please get in contact with us. We might have a few tickets available if there's anybody that wants to come visit us, talk about their machines, talk about their projects, and just see what we were on about. And some exciting stuff that we're also showing at the show. Wink, wink. It's going to be great.
It's going to be a good one. Definitely, if you are in the area, please reach out. We'd love to meet our users, see folks who are doing cool stuff. And also, as Roloff said, we have some really exciting things planned. So definitely stay tuned with our socials or Discord. There'll be lots of cool updates and things that we're sharing throughout the week. So all to come. I think let's come back to the now. Right. And maybe give one more round of stuff away.
Let's do it.
All right. Get those keyboards ready, everybody. Get the keyboards ready.
This is a big one.
It is.
We're going to give away a 50% off discount.
Wow. Super cool. 50% off.
50% off machine purchase for the Carvera. And we will call it.
I think it's is it 50% off Carvera or Carvera Air? Do we know?
Yeah, it'll be for both machines.
Yeah.
So let's say hashtag Carvera. It's for both machines, and we will start collecting comments now.
Capital C, folks. And while we let these comments come in, if you haven't already pressed subscribe, follow, like, do that now, because you obviously have to not only enter your keyword and get selected by your magical selection box, but also make sure that you are a follower, subscriber of all our channels and socials. And that also goes for, of course, all of our winners that we've already chosen. So this is coming in fast.
Coming in fast.
Here we go, folks.
100, 111. Surely there's more.
Let's see. We got a bunch of people with us here. All right, we'll give you guys another couple of seconds for the final giveaway of the stream. Here we go. Hashtag Carvera. Your 50% off machine purchase. What are we looking like? How do you think?
Yeah, it's like 140. I think let's go for it.
Here we go.
Last comments. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
The final winner of the day is RW. Congratulations. You just won our final prize, was that 50% off machine purchase. And as with before, this goes for not just R.W. But all of our winners. Screenshot your account info, send that to info@makera.com. If it's a coupon, we will get that coupon code to you. Please remember that coupons are valid for 2 weeks after receiving. If it's a prize, like the tank thing, we will figure out where you are in the world and mail that to you. And of course, make sure that you are that subscriber and liker and follower, please. So congratulations to all of our winners.
Congrats, guys.
Yeah. So let's recap. We did a lot today. Fun stuff. First off, again, back to school. We hope that all of our students, educators are having a great start to their school year, whether that was a couple weeks ago, it's coming up after the upcoming holiday in the US, wherever you are in the world. We hope that you guys have an awesome start to your school year. We shared lots of cool stuff. This Trammel of Archimedes is a pretty cool ellipsograph, this mechanical instrument, which we thought would be kind of fun for the CNC classroom. And you can not only, of course, go back and watch how Roloff prepared some stuff in this stream, because this is recorded, you can find a full-length tutorial video for the Trammel of Archimedes, as well as that lesson plan handout and a couple different files on our wiki site. And listen, we also glossed over a lot of stuff because we only have so much time, right? So we gave you a taste of what contour and pocket paths are, and tabs and fixture holding and all that stuff. We have the Getting Started series, the Carvera and Carvera Air how-to series, the tutorial series. So please, please, please dive deeper in feeds, speeds, bits, all the stuff that we only had a very small amount of time to chat about. And of course, we are always looking to support our users more. So we see that there were a lot of comments today about like, hey, give us some videos on fourth axis and laser, which we have. And then comments on, I wish you showed us how to do this. We're taking note of that. We're always looking to make more tutorials, more guides. And we also want to thank the fact that so many of our users share their stuff too. So we have a super active Discord and Facebook group where folks are always posting their techniques. We learn a lot from them as well. So definitely make sure, whether you're a user or not, join those community groups, chat with our folks, because we're always looking to support you more.
Yeah, great stuff. And then I just want to lastly mention the going back to school sale, which ends on the 10th of September. If you buy a Carvera Air, you get an extra fixture set that's worth $89.99. If you buy a Carvera, you get a milling bit bundle set worth $190. We have a live stream coupon code, which is Makera, so you can remember that. And the application terms is you get $100 off current discounts only for Makera and Carvera and Carvera Air, and it's available until end of the month, September the 2nd.
September the 2nd. Cool. Good stuff, folks. And if you do want to try Makera Cam, I might have forgot to mention this. Makera Cam is totally free for our customers. But if anyone saw this and you're like, that's awesome, I want to try, we also offer free trials for everybody. So you can get a free trial for Makera Cam as well. So listen, folks, thank you, everybody. We are super excited that you all joined us. Hopefully the time was accommodating. Stay tuned. We try to do at least one stream a month, so there'll be one next month. And even before that, we have IFA in Berlin next week. So if you're in the area, again, please reach out. We'd love to meet you there. And definitely stay tuned for all the exciting events and announcements and posts and all the cool stuff that we'll be doing next week. So thank you, everyone. And Roloff, as always, it was a pleasure. It was good seeing you.
It's always great. It's always great. Good chat, good things.
Cool.
Thank you, everybody. It's because of you we can do this. So
yeah,
we really appreciate everybody's inputs and just the best customer base, I think.
Yeah.
that exists.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, folks.